The open-world concept has grown significantly since the mid-2000s. What was once a rare feature to see in games is now extremely common. Open worlds can be included in RPGs, action-adventure titles, survival games, and more. However, not every title that includes one is great. However, I separated the best, and in this video you will see open-world games on PS4 that are really worth it. Arkham Knight is the third main entry in Rocksteady's brilliant trilogy. Unlike the other main Rocksteady installments, this one takes place on the streets of Gotham. There aren't many civilians around as Scarecrow has launched a chemical attack on the city, which has prompted an evacuation. Naturally, the Dark Knight stays to stop Scarecrow and all the other rogues that are still around and causing problems. Doing so means you have to travel all around the Dark City, using your grapple hook, cape gliding abilities, and the Batmobile. When someone gets in the way, you can just beat them up. One of the very best action RPGs of modern times, Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen is better than ever on PS4, where its last-gen frame-rate issues are put to the sword. Subtle storytelling combines with a dark fantasy world to create an enthralling experience, and the combat is still miles ahead of almost everything else in the genre, a game deserving of far more praise than many are prepared to give. Days Gone is another fantastic horror-filled open world, with horde of literally hundreds of zombies en masse just ready to jump you. You play as Deacon St. John, and although it's a terrible name, this biker has quite the story to tell. It's an alluring, although bleak world, with human stories to balance out the horrors of the zombies, or freakers as they're known. Poke into every corner and you'll be rewarded, just as you'd hope from a well-crafted open-world game. LA Noire is a detective thriller game developed by Team Bondi and published by Rockstar Games. Set in 1940s Los Angeles, the game follows Detective Cole Phelps as he solves a series of cases inspired by real-life crimes. Known for its innovative motion scan technology, which captures actors' facial expressions, LA Noire offers a unique and immersive gameplay experience. Sucker Punch continues its popular superhero series with a brand new protagonist in Infamous, Second Son. Taking the open-world action to Seattle, you play as Delsin Rowe, a conduit with the amazing ability to absorb the powers of other superhumans. This gives you many more toys to play with as you progress, gaining unusual abilities based on smoke, neon, digital, and more. Exploring the city feels great, combat is fun and varied, and it looks fantastic, a great early showpiece for PS4. Shadow of the Colossus is an action-adventure game developed by Team ICO and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. Players control Wander, a young man who must defeat 16 massive creatures known as Colossi in order to save a girl named Mono. Praised for its minimalist storytelling, breathtaking landscapes, and innovative gameplay, Shadow of the Colossus is considered one of the greatest video games of all time. Ubisoft struck gold with the previous game, so it doubled down on that formula for Far Cry 4. With an open-world map loosely based on Nepal, the game takes players to another wild, fictional setting filled with aggressive wildlife, enemy encampments, vehicles, and more. It builds upon its predecessor's compelling loop of slowly accruing and upgrading weapons and perks to turn you into a one-man army, and while the story isn't all that memorable, it's still a good time overall. The PS4 Spider-Man game is set in New York City, like most of the web-slinger stories. To be more specific, it takes place in Manhattan, and it's a great recreation of the place. It doesn't look completely like the real thing because Spidey's universe is a bit different. For instance, there is no Oscorp Tower in real life because Norman Oscorp doesn't actually exist, but he is involved in this game, as are several other unsavory characters that the protagonist needs to watch out for. In the process of putting a stop to the villains, you need to traverse around the city, which necessitates swinging around using one of the best traversal mechanics ever. It tends to be glossed over these days, but Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor was an undeniably innovative game when it launched in 2014. Its so-called Nemesis system allowed for some impressively dynamic storytelling, as ugly orcs formed all kinds of twisted relationships with brooding main character Talion. Somewhat basic, but still fun contextual combat and loads of unlockable upgrades make Mordor an engaging action RPG, and it still stands as a fine Lord of the Rings spin-off. Gravity Rush 2 is an action-adventure game developed by SIE Japan Studio and Project Siren and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Players control Kat, a gravity-shifting heroine, as she navigates through a mysterious floating city. Known for its unique gravity-based gameplay mechanics, stunning visuals, and engaging story, Gravity Rush 2 offers a thrilling and unforgettable experience. Assassin's Creed Origins is an action-adventure game developed and published by Ubisoft. Set in ancient Egypt during the Ptolemaic period, The game follows Bayek of Siwa, a Med-J, as he seeks revenge against those who killed his son. Known for its stunning open-world recreation of ancient Egypt, engaging story, and revamped gameplay mechanics, Assassin's Creed Origins revitalized the franchise. Fallout may fourth be found lacking in the role-playing department, but the gameplay loop is absolutely top-notch. Post-apocalyptic Boston makes for an especially dense open-world setting, packed with all kinds of secrets and irradiated enemies. Meanwhile, much improved gunplay allows combat to flourish once you've established a specific character build, and VATS, the mechanic that lets you slow time to aim your shots, remains one of Bethesda's best ever innovations. Technical quibbles and some dumb storytelling aside, Fallout 4 can keep you busy for hundreds of hours. The Witcher 3 is about protagonist Geralt's search for his adoptive daughter, Ciri. The young woman isn't easy to find, though, so you have to travel to various places to track her down. The said places serve as your open world. Each one is distinct from the others. Velen is filled with trees and swamps, Novigrad is a city, and Skellige is an archipelago. Each place has people to meet and quests to complete. One thing none of the areas offer, though, is safety. After all, they all contain various monsters. So, be careful if you want to see the sights. A role-playing game with action more fulfilling than most corridor shooters, Guerrilla Games' heritage with first-person shooters means that Horizon Zero Dawn's sizable quest list is one you'll actually enjoy clearing. The real surprise here, though, is the richness of the post-apocalyptic world that protagonist Aloy inhabits. This is a science fiction story set against a tribal backdrop, and it marries these incongruent themes masterfully. An incredible effort from the Dutch developer. Outer Wilds is an open-world mystery game developed by Mobius Digital and published by Annapurna Interactive. Players control an astronaut exploring a solar system trapped in a time loop, uncovering the secrets of an ancient alien race and the nature of the time loop itself. Praised for its unique gameplay mechanics, storytelling, and sense of discovery, Outer Wilds offers a captivating and thought-provoking experience. Death Stranding may not be for everyone when it comes to its narrative, but Kojima's latest is a compelling open world. As much as walking sim as it is an action game, you'll be walking around it for many hours to come, delivering packages, working with the other players to rebuild and create, and watching what they've left in their wake. It's definitely unique and utterly beautiful, particularly when the music kicks in. Need for Speed Unbound is a racing game developed by Criterion Games and published by Electronic Arts. It is known for its high-speed police chases, extensive car customization options, and open-world environment. The game offers a thrilling experience for fans of arcade-style racing games, with a focus on fast-paced action and adrenaline-fueled races. Skyrim's world doesn't revolve around you. Somewhere in the wilds there's a necromancer trying to animate a skeleton. At the same time, during the day you'll find a pack of bandits taking on a giant, RIP, or wander into a nearby village only to have a dragon attack it when you're stumbling out of the inn. Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim is made for stories, and it's so eager for you to sample its delights that even if you were to avoid every major settlement you'd still run into 30% of its quests out in the wild. The map is just filled with stuff to do, bizarre things to see, creatures to impale with sharp implements, NPCs to pickpocket, creepy Dwemer ruins to explore, and dragons to fight. Even after playing it for a casual 100 hours, those are rookie numbers, there are still quests that you won't have found, and hidden bosses waiting to be slayed. It's hard to overestimate the impact Skyrim has had on the lives of gamers everywhere, but to get a good idea of its effect and just what Elder Scrolls 6 has to live up to, you're best off jumping in and starting your new life in its world. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is an action role-playing game developed by Ubisoft Quebec and published by Ubisoft. Set in ancient Greece during the Peloponnesian War, players control a mercenary who can fight for either Athens or Sparta as they uncover the truth about their family's past. With its vast open world, engaging storylines, and immersive gameplay, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a standout title in the series. The open-world genre would be very different if it weren't for the GTA series. It really helped innovate and popularize open-world sandboxes. Grand Theft Auto V continues the series' tradition of providing extremely detailed cities to roam around. This time, the place is a parody of Los Angeles called Los Santos. There is also a more humble surrounding area known as Sandy Shores. Both places are filled with killers, liars, and every other type of horrible person you can think of. This includes your iconic trio of protagonists who are all criminals trying to make some money and get government agents off their backs. Apart from a few detours, all the action takes place on various areas of this incredible map that feels like a living, breathing place. Dragon Age: Inquisition is an action role-playing game developed by BioWare and published by Electronic Arts. Set in the fantasy world of Thedas, players assume the role of the Inquisitor, tasked with saving the world from a demonic invasion. Known for its deep storytelling, complex characters, and strategic combat, Dragon Age: Inquisition offers a rich and immersive RPG experience. Going in with all guns blazing isn't everyone's cup of tea, so if you're thirsting for a stealth action open-world game, Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain should be your hot beverage of choice. Encouraging non-lethal playing styles rather than killing indiscriminately, the degree to which all the different systems interweave is astonishing, and you're free to roam and dispatch with enemy soldiers however you see fit. However, don't get too used to a set group of tactics. The enemies will adapt if you repeat the same approaches too much. Keeping you company in the world is D-Horse and D-Dog, a wolf raised to help you in the field, and the dynamic weather system is just as helpful, as it periodically makes you harder to see and hear. NieR: Automata's complete and utter disregard for your time pays off in so many ways. Yoko Taro's android-based adaptation of Hamlet may seem like anime schlock for the first 20 hours or so, but stick with it and you'll be rewarded with one of the richest narratives in games today. This character action title revels in subverting your expectations, and it crescendos with a mind-blowing climax that will leave your jaw on the floor. Red Dead Redemption 2 takes place in the Old West, and the open world is a large area of America split into multiple regions. There are a bunch of small towns and homesteads on the map, along with plenty of wilderness. So, it's a nice game for those who just want to walk around and appreciate nature. It's also good for those who appreciate secrets, as there are so many unmarked things in the world that you can find by simply exploring a bit, and there are many people to talk to since the game lets you converse with everybody. The main story takes you all over the map as you and your gang attempt to find a safe area to call home and hide from lawmen. Far Cry 6 takes us to the fictional locale of Yara, someone in South America, where you're charged with becoming a guerrilla fighter called Danny and toppling the dictatorship led by the Castillo family, namely a chap called Anton, played by Giancarlo Esposito. But it's also a huge open world with plenty of activities to tick off while you're doing all that politics stuff. Mysteries to solve, races to complete, companions to find, citizens to help. There's a lot to do in Yara. The Forgotten City is a standalone game based on a popular Skyrim mod. It's a time-looping mystery adventure set in an ancient Roman city. Players must explore, solve puzzles, and make moral choices to uncover the city's secrets and break the time loop. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 is a shooter RPG set in a post-pandemic Washington, D.C. Players work as agents of the strategic Homeland Division to rebuild the city and combat criminal factions. The game features cooperative and PvP gameplay in a detailed open world. Insomniac knocked it out of the park with its first Spidey game, but the follow-up is arguably even better. As the name implies, Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales focuses on the younger, less experienced hero as he gets to grips with his new abilities, some of which are wildly different from Peter's. While the open world is largely the same, playing as Miles refreshes the game in a few small ways. His electrical powers amp up combat, a penchant for aerobatics makes swinging even more fun, and the story explores his home life and family to great effect. It's a smaller game than Spider-Man 1, but it packs just as much punch, if not more. Prey is a sci-fi first-person shooter with strong narrative and immersive sim elements. Players assume the role of Morgan Yu, a scientist stranded aboard a space station overrun by hostile aliens. The game emphasizes player choice and exploration, with multiple endings based on decisions made throughout the game. All of the recent Assassin's Creed titles have been excellent open-world games, but Assassin's Creed Valhalla is definitely one to check out, particularly because it's already one of the best Xbox Series X games and best PS5 games. Building on the improvements made with Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, both of which are very worth your time, Valhalla takes you to the Dark Ages, traveling across England as Viking eager to find a new home for your clan. Build your settlement, meet new friends, forge new allyships, dabble in politics, and do a heck of a lot of exploring to find the secrets and treasures lurking in Old England. Saints Row 2 is an open-world action game where players lead the 3rd Street Saints gang in a fictional city called Stillwater. Known for its over-the-top gameplay, humor, and extensive character customization, Saints Row 2 offers a sandbox experience full of mayhem and mischief. Many fans of the Souls games have longed for the experience of an open-world Souls game, and Elden Ring fulfills that desire as the first game in the genre to feature an open world. The game earns praise from various perspectives, but the open world and its diversity are truly remarkable. The Lands Between is an expansive world comprising multiple regions, each with its unique and distinguishable color palette. For instance, Caelid is reddish, Raya Lucaria Academy is bluish, and Altus Plateau is yellowish, just to name a few of the diverse locations and regions to explore. Even in a challenging world filled with enemies and formidable bosses, a single glance at the beauty of Elden Ring can provide a sense of solace amid the chaos. We waited for what felt like an eternity for Final Fantasy XV, and when it finally arrived, it was good, but certainly not amazing. Some fans like it a lot more than others, and we're of the opinion that it's an entertaining but sometimes deeply flawed game. A very troubled development cycle shows in the finished product, with its disjointed storytelling and often odd quest design, but there's still a certain kind of magic to 15 that's hard to explain. It's got an atmospheric open world, and the road trip structure is both unique and engaging. It's also worth noting that 15 improved significantly with the Royal Edition, which packed all of the free updates and DLC into one package, making for a much more cohesive experience. Ghost of Tsushima stands out as an exceptional open-world game thanks to its meticulously crafted environment. The island of Tsushima isn't just vast, it's teeming with intricate detail, boasting diverse landscapes ranging from lush forests to serene beaches. The world is brimming with hidden shrines, breathtaking vistas, and encounters that feel organic rather than scripted. Exploration isn't just about finding loot, it's about uncovering cultural insights, such as haikus or duels that embody the samurai ethos. This meticulous attention to detail transforms Ghost of Tsushima's open world into not just an expansive playground, but a genuinely captivating one. If you ever get an inkling to try the Watch Dogs series, just play Watch Dogs 2 and then move on with your life. By far the best entry in the series, it has a much more lighthearted approach to the hacking concepts, with fun gadgets to use and great mission design to let them thrive. Marcus Holloway is a significantly better protagonist than the original's Aiden Pierce, and his vibrant crew is one you'll grow to love. Immortals Fenyx Rising is an action-adventure game set in a fantastical open world inspired by Greek mythology. Players control Fenyx, a customizable hero tasked with saving the Greek gods from a dark curse. The game features a vibrant art style, challenging combat, and puzzles inspired by mythology. So, did you like the games I recommended? So leave your like, subscribe to the channel to follow me, and activate the bell because I post a lot of videos on this channel and you can't miss it. Thank you very much for following me this far, and until next time, bye.